Welcome back to another episode of Spaceman 2.0. I'm going to try to tell you the whole story. This is what's going on in the entire universe. Universe means one, right? So how can there be more than one? Multiverse. All this is just meant to confuse you. Satan's number one trick is confusion. Okay, that's the first trick he does is confuse. Anyways, getting on to how the Illuminati control us and what's going on in this world. Spiritually, your total life is at stake here because they want to take your spirituality away and replace it with a new one. Their technological age, transhumanism. Zbigniew Brzezinski's transhumanism is coming to fruition. So let's get into how we should be living our life as human beings and what our needs are compared to the Illuminati's way of controlling us. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it is really simple. It actually starts from the bottom up. You don't start from the top down like the BIS and the Illuminati's hierarchy of control. But we have to start at the bottom with physiological needs, with food, water, warmth, rest. And when this is sufficiently taken care of, we can move on to the next need, which is security, safety. And if we have that, and then we have love and intimate connections with family and friends, we feel a sense of belonging. And we can improve upon our self-esteem and prestige by our accomplishments. And by accomplishing things, we feel good about ourselves. We can come to some self-actualization and then eventually to our full potential and our spiritual ability, which I'll get into that later. The Illuminati want to keep you away from your true spiritual ability by putting fluoride in the water and a lot of other things to keep you away from actualizing your true spiritual technology that's within your body without any external sort of manipulation like the Illuminati's hierarchy of control wants to do. So they start from the bottom by controlling us, but they start at the top at the same time. Through the Bank of International Settlements, they control all the international banks and national banks of all the countries. They control the big banks like Citi, Chase, Goldman Sachs, and corporations like Exxon, Pfizer, and Monsanto. Bill Gates is part of their old Shimaradu deal. The governments are also paid off all around the world, along with these big organizations like the World United Nations and WHO and FDA and CDC and all this, and we're giving them prestige so they can have some sort of authority. They don't have any authority, but they want to make it think like they have an authority. Big lobbying groups all around using big people's money just to control for the Illuminati's hierarchy of control, because they're part of these deceitful ones. The Anunnaki came down from heaven, mated with the daughters of men, and had men of renown. And these Nephilim, these fallen angels, have been seen as gods. And they've given us our supposed religions and stuff like that back from the Sumerian texts. 10,000 years ago is where they got the Bible text. Genesis is in the Sumerian text, word for word. Nimrod was considered a giant. He was on the world, on this planet, as a giant. There were giants in the land of old, and there shall be, as Christ said, though as in the days of Noah, shall be in the coming of man, or so-called now. Okay, so without getting too much more into this, let's look at the next. We have to choose between our divinity or transhumanism. Now, transhuman is what the Illuminati wanted to do. That's why there's all things about trans in the news these days. It's all just leading you to give up your divinity, thinking that you're not perfect enough. God's DNA inside you, the energy field to all, is the Merkaba. It was first 8 cells of a human